Today we're talking about the brand new and beautiful Paradigm XR13 subwoofer. Last year, Paradigm released their Founder Series speakers, and I have to admit they are one of my favorite speakers of all time, especially because of their looks, but also because of their sound. Now they've released a compact and powerful subwoofer to complement their Founder speakers. It may be really pretty and small, but it's not just a pretty face. It also has some brawn hidden in that unassuming exterior, with a 13-inch high excursion driver and 2200 watts RMS of pure power. With a unique dual spider design, this subwoofer has some cool tech behind it. Let's learn about this beautiful beast and see that high excursion driver in action. I'm Bert, this is Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Before we undress this beauty, I want to say a special thank you to John at Base Electronics here in Calgary. When it didn't work for me to come pick up the subwoofer due to my flight being delayed, John personally delivered the subwoofer to me the next morning. So if you are in Calgary and you're not shopping for your hi-fi at Base Electronics, you're probably doing it wrong. Back to the subwoofer, we're going to talk about some quick specs, the price, we're going to do some demos of course, and we're going to talk about this high gloss, high power music maker. But first we need to get that ugly box off and see what's inside. All right, so now that we have the box off, there was a couple things on the other side of the box before. So it's just some spiked feet. The subwoofer comes with rubber feet installed, but it does have spiked feet for those that want them. And then a little bit of a quick start guide here. And that was on the other side of the box. Okay, so once you have the box off, you're probably gonna have to take this bottom styrofoam so that you can get the bag off. All right, so now that we have the plastic off, you can see that you have a power cable and you have your Anthem room correction kit, because the subwoofer does have Anthem room correction built in. And the next step is just get this top piece of styrofoam off. The bottom of the subwoofer is a gloss finish as well, so you're gonna wanna be careful. All right guys, I am a little bit out of breath because although the subwoofer is fairly small, it's still 108 pounds. So I moved it around the floor here, so I'm a little bit out of breath. But let's go ahead and get this soft sock off and do a reveal of this beautiful subwoofer. Here we go. Man, was I glad to get that subwoofer out of the box. Based on the pictures online, I was very excited to see this subwoofer in person just because of that beautiful finish, but I'm also excited to see how it performs. And as you can see guys, this is one subwoofer that deserves to be shown off in your room. I truly was absolutely blown away by the design and the looks of the subwoofer. When I reviewed the Paradigm Founder 120H tower speakers, I gushed about their looks and called them the most beautiful speaker that I've seen. Well, now there is a subwoofer to go along with that statement. The high gloss finish is like glass and it is oozing class and sophistication. And that midnight cherry finish underneath, come on guys, it's just absolutely gorgeous. There's no other way to put it. This is a subwoofer that you could put in your living room and be proud to display it without the grill, and your wife would probably be happy as well. The black brushed aluminum front baffle adds just enough modern industrial design to that red cherry. It just works, and it works really well. Even that dark colored Carbon X driver really complements the look. There's just nothing that I don't like about this design, but I want to know what you guys think, so drop your comments down below. My first impression on the looks, well, it probably doesn't take much to figure it out, but this is my favorite looking subwoofer of all time. I would love to have 6 of these stacked on my front stage and just drool over them all day long. A little personal message here to Paradigm, bravo on the design. Seriously, your design team really does deserve a raise for this one. Okay, so I think you guys got the hint. I love the appearance of this subwoofer, but let's deal with the elephant in the room, and that is the price. The new XR subwoofers come in an 11-inch called the XR11, and it's priced at $3,999 US dollars or 4,999 Canadian, and the 13-inch, the XR13, which is the one that we have here, is priced at 4,999 US and 5,999 Canadian. I know that prices like that can be hard to swallow, trust me, they are for me as well, but it's not very often that you get a capable subwoofer that looks anywhere near this good. Now, when it comes to the differences between the models, there are a couple big differences between the XR11 and the XR13. First of all is the driver size, which we already mentioned. The XR11 is aptly named for its 11-inch driver, and the XR13 is the larger brother, measuring in at 13 inches. Secondly is their power on tap. The XR11 has 1100 watts RMS and 2200 watts peak, but the XR13 doubles this for 2200 watts RMS and 4400 watts peak. It isn't just their looks and their power that make them stand out, it is also their size. The XR11 is only 16.2 inches high by 15.3 inches wide and 16.9 inches deep and weighs in at 65.1 pounds. Whereas the XR13 is only 18.8 inches high, 17.3 inches wide, and 19.4 inches deep and weighs in at a hefty 103 pounds. Now, other than the obvious performance differences given the fact that it's different sized drivers and they have different amounts of power on tap, that covers the physical differences between the XR11 and the XR13. So from here forward, we will be focusing on the XR13. So you may be asking, how did they keep the dimensions so small? Well, that is because it is a sealed enclosure. And for the cabinet, they offer 4 finishes, 2 gloss finishes, which are Midnight Cherry, which we have here, and then Piano Black. They also have 2 satin finishes, which are Walnut and Black Walnut. In typical Paradigm fashion, they like to include proprietary tech, which includes the cabinet, like their Cascade Fusion bracing, which adds to the rigidity and helps break up standing waves. They also included their advanced shock mount system in the feet to help control vibrations and resonances. If you do wish to clean things up even further, they do include a magnetic grille that has some aggressive angles for a somewhat unique look, but who wants to cover up that good-looking driver? Definitely not me. And speaking of that driver, it is Paradigm's Carbon X proprietary driver with the trilinear suspension design with active ridge technology. This driver is an absolute beast. It's designed with a dual high-temperature 2-inch voice coil, along with a unique dual spider setup. This helps keeps the driver's linearity on the straight and narrow while pushing the limits of its excursion. And this driver has some massive excursion for a 13-inch. Just check this out. But Paradigm didn't stop with an amazing driver. They took things further and packed in even more, because even the amplifier has some cool features up its sleeve. On the back of this unit, you will find a plate amp that takes up most of the back panel. On the top of the amp, you'll find a touch-sensitive gain or volume control, as you can see here. You will also find that there's more than your average amount of connections. You have high-level speaker inputs that accept banana plugs, an XLR input, an LFE RCA, along with a line-level stereo RCA inputs, and then the final touch, a 12-volt trigger input. Between those, you will find the auto, trigger, and on toggle switch and the ARC micro USB connection, which means that this subwoofer has Anthem room correction built right in for calibrating this beast specifically to your room with the included ARC kit. In the ARC kit, you get all the cables that are required, a calibration mic, and then a nice little tripod. All that power and with that beefy driver combined, it provides a plus-minus 3 dB response of 17 Hz to 140 Hz and down to 12 Hz in-room response. Make sure that you stay tuned on the channel for the full review, where I will show the room measurements on what this subwoofer can do in my room with and without ARC. And finally, along with ARC, Paradigm does have a handy subwoofer app to help you control your subwoofer from any iOS or Android device, allowing you to change from music mode to movie mode with ease, or you can change things like the gain, the phase, or even turn ARC calibration on or off. So as you can see, guys, this subwoofer does offer a lot. It is packed full of goodies and it has looks to kill. But what were my first impressions on the sound? Well, I hooked it up, I turned it on, and I let the bass from Eminem's Kill Shot shake my room. The bass is articulate, and it's powerful enough to shake things in my room that only the most powerful subwoofers can shake, and it does that while being one of the smallest subwoofers I've ever had in my space. The appeal of this subwoofer, in my opinion, is this. You are getting incredibly powerful bass in a shockingly small package that looks absolutely beautiful, but can kick you in the chest like a raging bull. And you are getting all this from a 13-inch driver, but keep in mind, physics still apply, obviously, so you can only get so much out of a 13-inch driver. But you do get performance below 20 Hz that has some surprising authority for a 13-inch driver. It is quality bass that has heft and nuanced tonality to it. But now I want to hear from you guys, so drop your comments down below about what you think of this subwoofer. Make sure that you stay tuned for the full review, but to do that, make sure that you subscribe, tick the bell icon if you do, and please take just one short second to hit that like button. I always do appreciate it. Remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.